Dear soul, you were not meant to stumble on this message by accident. This was placed before your eyes by divine timing, because there is something you need to know. Something. Someone will never say out loud, but heaven sees it clearly, and today, it's time for you to see it too. Someone you love made a decision that changed everything. They chose to throw someone away, and they did it because of you, not because you asked them to, not because you begged them to, not because you even knew it was happening. They did it quietly. They did it suddenly, and they did it with a trembling heart, because the truth is, your presence shook something in their soul. You didn't have to do anything. You just had to exist. And that was enough to wake something up in them. They were standing at a crossroad. Their life was walking in one direction, and then you appeared, like light entering a dim room, and everything they thought they wanted started to feel wrong. It wasn't a fair decision. It wasn't clean. But it was real, and it came from a place deep inside them, the part that recognizes soul. The part that knows when something is fake, and when something is true. You never told them to. And that connection, you never interfered, but they still felt the pull. They tried to ignore it. They tried to hold on to the life they were building with someone else. But their spirit was already leaning toward you, even when they didn't understand why, even when it scared them, even when it made no sense. Their soul was speaking louder than logic, and their heart began to ache for a life that hadn't started yet. A life that began with you, so they made the choice and let someone go. And now that someone is gone, gone with questions, gone with pain, gone with a sense of betrayal they'll never fully understand. And that's why the person you love is silent now. That's why they've been quiet. That's why you feel their energy one moment, and then it disappears again, because they are grieving a storm they created. They're holding guilt and desire in the same breath. They're haunted by a choice they made for you, without ever telling you. You see, this wasn't just a breakup, it was a sacrifice. They didn't just walk away from a person. They walked away from a version of themselves. They walked away from a whole life path, and they did it for a glimpse of something deeper, something sacred, something they saw in your eyes and could never unsee. They threw someone away because loving you felt like truth, even if it came at a cost, even if it meant they had to walk through fire, even if it meant they lost someone who once loved them. Their soul chose you, not in a loud way, not in a showy way, but in the quiet places of their heart, in the midnight hour when no one was watching, in the space where truth cannot be hidden. They chose you, and now they don't know how to live with that decision, because they hurt someone else in the process, and that pain is echoing, it's following them, it's whispering doubt. And you may be wondering why they haven't come forward, why they seem distant, why they seem cold, why they're still not choosing you openly. But the truth is, they already did. They chose you in the realm where it matters most, in the unseen, in the divine, in the eternal. But their human heart is catching up, and right now, they're walking through the weight of what that choice cost. They think about you every day, they imagine conversations, they replay your words, they remember moments that seemed small but changed them forever. And they wonder, did you feel it too? Do you know what you stirred up inside them? Do you know what they gave up because of you? Would you still want them, knowing someone else got broken in the process? These are the questions they ask in silence. This is the inner storm they carry. They look strong on the outside, but inside, they are raw, they are aching, they are humbled by what love demanded of them. Because real love does not come without cost. And this love, the one they feel for you, is the most expensive thing they've ever known. Not in money, not in time, but in soul. They gave up safety. They gave up predictability, they gave up the perfect picture everyone expected them to live in. For something uncertain, for something wild, for something holy, for you. And now, they are learning to forgive themselves. Not because they stopped caring about the person they left behind, but because they're starting to understand that love, true love, awakens something deeper. That's something that cannot be explained to anyone else. That's something that doesn't need to be justified. Because the soul knows and what the soul knows, it cannot unknow. They saw something in you that felt like home, like purpose, like destiny. And even if they're silent now, even if they're hiding, even if they pretend nothing happened, heaven knows what they did. Heaven saw them cry after they walked away from that other person. Heaven heard their heart breaking even as they tried to be strong. Heaven watched them wrestle with the question, did I do the right thing? And heaven whispered back, yes. Even in the pain, even in the confusion. Yes. Because the soul cannot lie. And what they did from the soul. Now they are on a path that leads to you. But it is not a straight line. It's full of shadows. It's full of echoes. It's full of lessons they must learn on their own. And so, you must be patient, not because you owe it to them, but because love cannot be forced. Because when love is real, it waits. It breathes. It trusts. You are not here to carry their guilt. You are not responsible for the choices they made, but you are the reason they woke up. You are the mirror that showed them what their soul was missing. You are the light that pulled them out of something that was no longer alive. And one day, they will tell you how they ended something. Because their heart whispered your name. Because their soul showed them a vision of life with you in it. Because they couldn't go another day pretending they didn't feel it. One day, they will come forward, not out of guilt, but out of clarity. Out of healing, out of courage. Because the same way they threw someone away for you, they are now throwing away their fear, their hesitation, their silence, their pride. They are shedding the layers that kept them stuck, and they are making their way to you. So if you felt their pull, you're not imagining it. If you've had dreams about them, it's not just in your mind. If you felt sudden waves of emotion, it's their energy touching yours. And if you've been wondering if something big is shifting, it is. They are coming to terms with what love demanded. They are preparing, they are aligning, and most of all, they are realizing that letting someone go was only the first step. The next step is choosing you with nothing hidden. No guilt, no shame, no mask, just truth, just love, just soul. And when that moment comes, you'll feel it in your heart before you ever hear it in words. Because soul doesn't need permission to speak. It only needs the courage to listen. And both of you are almost ready to hear it. Hold on. The truth is coming, and it will be worth every unanswered question, every silent night. Every tear you never explained. It will be worth it, because it's real. And it's yours. Always was, always will be.